to the volume. Okay. Okay. So if we could start by closing our eyes or turning our gaze inward. And welcome your experience. Just as it is. Do not try to fix. Whatever aspects of your experience that you notice that are resisting resistance. Invite it to relax, to be free without any judgment. The silent and still mystery of this moment. What has passed is past. It's a fresh, new moment of presence. Hearing these words, resting. You don't need a narrative for your experience. You don't need to add any commentary. Your experience is complete. There's nothing missing, and nothing too much or extra. And it cannot be otherwise. The way your experience is appearing, it's full and complete, and cannot be otherwise, and there's no other possibility. And in the way it appears, there isn't a good or a bad, which may arise as a narrative. But your experience itself is perfect and complete and undivided. As it is. When we understand this, that our experience is complete and perfect as it is, the inner conflict and the inner judgment is absent. And we are in our totality, our not knowingness, without the unhappy sense of separation. And when we perceive our experience from the prism of judgment, from the narrative of good and bad, should and shouldn't, the inner separate judge, the inner prosecutor, arises and spins the wheel of thoughts and the whirlpool of feelings. And the feeling of guilt, the regret, digs its claws in our being. The sense of a separate subject arises within thinking, within thoughts, justifying thoughts, blaming thoughts, denying, trying to safeguard some identity, some sense of safety for this identity. And we get sort of caught up in this mental and feeling realm. there is an echo that goes on and on. Sometimes defending is justified. Arguing one's position is justified in some cases. And when it is justified, we are not defending the illusory me. We're not defending our feelings, our images. There is a direct response sometimes. And this direct response comes from the wisdom, maybe the sense of fairness, or doesn't come from a personal self, and it does not leave an echo. It comes from a place of understanding and intelligence. But whenever the response, the action results in getting stuck in the molasses, then we are defending an image, a ghost. And no matter how we try, it doesn't work. The difference is have clarity about the reality of consciousness, the impersonal, the reality of all body minds, and not just your own. that which I am, universal I, impersonal I, is. Okay, so if you have any questions, please make sure you unmute your mic. And you're welcome to turn on your video if you like. So any questions?
Hi, Magdi.
Hello, Esther.
This kind of relates to your meditation, today. It's something I've wanted to ask for a long time. In the midst of like an intense inner agitation, whatever, I've pretty much learned to remain as I am and survive those kinds of things. But I have to say that in the midst of something very intense, you've often given the counsel to see the sensations as neutral. And even though I can remain as I am, pretty much, I think it would be a sheer miracle for me to acknowledge that intensity as neutral. So I guess my question is, in the midst of that kind of intensity, what else you got?
Well, so when there is a certain emotion on board, Esther, the body is activated. I mean, right now, the body is, of course, active at a certain level, certain sensations, and the subtle body. And when there is a certain emotion arising, then the body is activated at a higher energetic level, like waves. You know, you have some gentle waves on the ocean, and then you have some waves that people surf. So whether it's recognized or not, there is an aspect to your experience which is purely somatic, which is purely sort of a subtle. Subtle does not mean pastel color. Subtle means it's not gross. It's not like, you know, it's not like, you know, perceiving, you know, a perception like perceiving, for example, a volcanic eruption. Although that experience of, which is a perception of a certain gross object, or perceiving some aspect of your body, if something happens to your body, also has a subtle aspect to it. The point is that irrespective of what appears to you at the sensation level, at the subtle level, whether it is pastel color or whether it is deep purple or deep red, it's still a sensation. It's still a subtle perception. You follow that?
I think so.
Yes. So there's that aspect of your experience, whether it's recognized or not. Of course, it's helpful to recognize it. To recognize that when there is a loud emotion occurring or loud situation occurring, that actually the body is singing the high notes. And what also accompanies those high notes during such situation is that you are also there is a spin of thoughts. A spin of thoughts. You know, what's happening to me? Why is this happening? Oh my God! Why are they doing this to me? Why am I not over this? Whatever. There is a spin of thoughts, which is also a subtle aspect of your experience, which is referred to as the mind. And in a way, an emotion can be broken down into both at the sensory level, at the subtle body sensation level. That's one aspect of the experience, and the other aspect is the subtle mental aspect. Now, it would be okay if, you know, when you throw a stone in the water, it goes ploof, it makes some waves on the surface of the pond, and then it's done. But oftentimes what happens with emotions is that you throw a stone in the water, it makes some waves, but then there's another stone and another stone, another stone, another stone. So it's as if, you know, you have a wave after wave after wave after wave after wave that's coming. It's not just something that's arising and dissolving in the space. So the question is, what's the difference between those two? So in one case, I got insulted, for example, or a certain fearful thought arose. The me got triggered in the body as the heart beating, or now the bodily temperature and pressure of the body is increasing, and the sense of feeling that I'm in danger, that thought arose, and then dissolves. That's in case A. In case B, the same situation arises, except the sense of danger doesn't remains. The sense of danger remains. or the sense that I've been wronged remains, or the sense that something is going, some bad experience is going to happen to me remains. Well, what is it that remains? What is it that continues to maintain? What maintains this emotion on deck?
Well, it would be the separate I for sure. I guess the question is how do you deal with it in the midst of that?
Yes. Well, as long as we perceive that we've been wronged, or that there is a sense of danger or imminent danger to us, we are going to remain, contracted and defending and protecting. And I mean, in some cases, it's justified. If there is a tsunami coming here and we know it's coming, or if the tide is rising, it makes sense for us to work hard for the next week, filling sandbags and building a dike in front of our house. It makes sense because it is justified. So the question is, what is it that we are defending? When we are in our emotion, what is it that we are defending? Now, there could be somebody, for example, that comes and is breaking into your car, and so you will arise energetically, meaning your subtle body and your mind will arise to bring an end to that, and whatever it takes. So there will be an energetic display of the body-mind. But then we'll spin, oh my God, why did this happen to me? It shouldn't have happened to me. Why are they coming to my house? Why didn't they go to the neighbor? Or, I just paid my insurance, or I just, painted my car and they shouldn't have, then that spin, is that justified?
Well, that's the irrational spin.
That's the irrational spin.
The irrational spin that remains seemingly.
Yes.
In the midst of contemplating reality. It does subside after time, but to see those emotions as neutral, I just can't.
No, it's not. It's not just this. There is a rational and an irrational aspect to our experience.
And you can even see the irrationality of it in the midst of it.
Right.
So obvious. Mostly it's
right. When the irrational aspect of your experience is underway, then the path is not to just see that they're just sensations and thoughts. But is not sufficient to see that they're just neutral sensations. So I could see that they're neutral sensations, but behind seeing that they're neutral sensation, I'm still protecting myself. So you cannot simultaneously be personal and impersonal. You can't play the game of being impersonal, of saying, okay, this is a neutral experience, this is the neutral events, cosmic events, and at the same time, you're pissed, or why is this happening to me? This shouldn't happen to me. You cannot speak from both sides of your mouth. So the statement that, well, when I'm taking things personal, when I'm defending my image, or I'm spinning around the glorious me that should be honored, let's say, when I'm spinning around that, at the same time say, well, it's all impersonal, doesn't make sense. You have to see, it's better to see that, okay, well, here I am, I'm spinning the ghost. I'm spinning the ghost. I am maintaining the story that this shouldn't have happened to me. They shouldn't have done this to me. This shouldn't be happening to me. I should be in a different place than where I am right now. This is your activity. You are engaging in this line of thinking. It is not that this line of thinking is God thinking through you. It is, in fact, your own doing. You are maintaining the Esther story, whatever it is, in that particular situation. I'm just speaking generically. Whatever the download that maybe was justified to start with. Maybe somebody was trying to break into your car, so there was a download to defend, to prevent the car from being stolen. So there may be a good justification for the initial download, but maintaining the me story, you need to see that's actually what you're doing. And it's your freedom, you're exerting your freedom. So you cannot complain about it or say, how do I end it? Or what kind of trick do I need to do? Should I look at this as being impersonal? No, you need to see that's your choice. That's what you're doing. Somehow, because nobody's forcing you. And the thief is gone. I mean, the cops came and took him away, and your car you called the insurance, the insurance company is coming, they're gonna fix your door and your window, everything is good. That's done. So in that moment, on what ground do you maintain the me story? There was a situation that was dealt with.
It feels, Magdi, in a situation of intensity like that, that there isn't control, that I don't have a choice. It feels like that I don't have control.
Well, to a certain extent, you don't, in that the body has an initial, vibration aspect to it. It's sort of, there is a certain choiceless, subtle body expression. And beyond that, you need to take a look and see if it's true that you don't have a choice. So you need to take a look at that. Secondly, when you say I, you need to be clear about what you mean, what you refer to. Like right now, I hear these words.
Mm-hmm.
What is it that's hearing these words? Obviously, there is Esther, the body-mind instrument. Is it the body-mind instrument that's hearing these words? Or is it I that hears these words? What is I? When you say I, when you think I, when you feel I, when you perceive I, what is this I? How do you approach that? Do you approach I as Esther? Or do you approach I as presence, awareness?
I know who I am, Magdi, and I have gotten through those times by maintaining that knowing.
Yes. So that's one aspect, that knowing is an important aspect. The other aspect is your argumentation with your experience. Some sort of argumentation. Because in the absence of argumentation, knowing yourself as presence, knowing yourself as awareness, and your experience is what it is. And you respond to your experience as it presents itself. Right now, in satsang, we're talking together. This is the response of the body-mind as presence, as awareness, using the body-mind in this situation. So whenever your experience takes you into the me spin of the emotions, you cannot say that, yes, I know myself as awareness. At that moment, no. At that moment, there is a psychological aspect to your experience and something that's making some commentary about it, that's saying it should be this way or that way. Or it's not fully relaxed as consciousness, as presence. So that's available to you to drop the defense, whatever it is that you're defending, whatever it is that you're protecting, whatever it is in time and space. There is even when we're trying to, sometimes we're seeking a certain way to feel. We want to feel in a certain way. It's very subtle, but we want to sort of, we want to experience our life to be in a certain way. That's the condition. This condition comes from where? It doesn't come from consciousness. Now, I'm not saying that in the practical sense, we don't apply ourselves to make our life easier and simpler, more comfortable chair, replace the tires on the car, etc. But I'm talking about this resistance, this defending, this defense. What is it that we are defending? What ideas and images we have about ourselves, about the world, about enlightenment, about peace, about our spirituality? What images? Images are images, but they can have a power over us once we believe them to be that which guides us, rather than being guided by not knowing at this moment of pure presence. I don't know what the next moment is going to be. I truly don't. And that's how consciousness is. It's complete not knowing. And it's not like not knowing that it's missing something. It's just transparent to each moment as it's arising, as it arises. And also, sometimes we bring in the past into our present experience. It's as if we can't fully be absent to the past, complete the death of the past, so that this moment arises not from the past, but out of presence, out of consciousness. We don't know how or what. And at some level, it doesn't really matter how consciousness dances. It dances all dances. It is dancing this dance of satsang, but it's also dancing infinite other dances. It's, you know, selling potatoes and tomatoes downtown market. It's harvesting grapes in Napa Valley, whatever.
Oh, thanks, Magdi. A lot to be with. Thank you.
Yes. Okay, Esther. Any questions? Any questions?
Hi, Magdi, John.
Hello, John.
Hi. I don't know. I'd like you to go over neutral again. I think I'm thinking right now, you know, recalling tense body tensions and stuff like that. There's some, I think some things are through experience of having body tensions and maybe some realizations that in some situation, it's not necessary to have them. Now, I guess an example, let me be more concrete in some ways, because for instance, let's say my history has been I see a history. So this is a person that sees a history, and yes, it's there. And so it has this, so it carries along these not really seen body, whatever it is, and on that level of the body, let's just say. And it's saying, okay, here's a great example. Somebody has a frown on their face, and I'm seeing it as they're angry, or they're going to attack me, or I'm going to an extreme, but they're going to attack me, and or that I have to stay away from them or whatever. And of course, they could just have a frown on their face, or it may not be called a frown. It might just be that something that's bothering and they're having pain. But what I'm saying is that a lot of us come with that kind of history. And of course, as we move into the truth, a lot of that starts to begin to, I think a lot of that seems to dissolve as well. It doesn't seem to come up quite as much. And when things are seen fresh, it doesn't have to have the image of the anger, or some kind of attack or something like that. So maybe in psychology, you could say, wait a moment, or maybe it's not that, or something like that. And you work with the mind in that sense, thought. Anyway, I'm thinking sometimes neutral for me. I think that I'm hearing somebody speak. Like the other day, somebody was speaking. They were loud. They were upset, and of course I thought it was over the top. But whatever it was, I was hearing that, and the other thoughts weren't coming in. I might have to defend myself. I might have bodily. I mean, it could come in, but it was more of just seeing that. Some would say witnessing that, but in a way, there was a neutrality there. Okay, because what was happening with the other person was not me, was not a bodily me, it was not a it was happening there. I don't know how to say this. And so in that sense, even sensations and with me were noticed. So then there's this sort of felt sense of a neutral place called the I. Okay. And so in that sense, I can see a neutrality. And that maybe as I'm talking, that is there all the time. So why would that ever leave? But also, I think when you speak about neutrality, at least for me, thought says then that it should even feel neutral. And that I don't think that's true, but it should feel neutral. I think a lot of times there has been, how do I get to that? I know better than that now. How do I get to that? And trying to manipulate or control something, control these things and everything. So I don't know, in all of that of what I just said, there, in a way, there's a person that says, what do I do? Okay. And of course you look at the I. But at the same time, I'll hear you say something, or somebody else might say something and say, there is something to do. It's not that there's not, there is something to do. So sometimes it gets confusing. So that was a lot I said, but it was there. I mean, those things are what's popping up there in the thoughts. So
okay, first, when we say that all aspects of our experience are equal in that they're all sort of cosmic, they're all impersonal, they're all neutral, does not mean that we're dead, okay?
Right, yeah, right, I got that.
Right, so, and it does not mean that they're all the same, that there aren't differences. Like if you look at the sky, you may perceive all shapes of clouds. Some may be very, very thin, some may be very dense in different colors.
Right.
Now, there are differences in the field of perception. But although there are differences in the colors and the shape and the density and the rain, the humidity aspect, etc., they are all neutral in that they're all equal at some, there is a level at which they're equal, meaning they're all perceptions.
Yeah, that's clouds.
Yeah.
I'm hearing you on that, and that's easier to do.
Right. And when it comes to the body, when you look at sensations, meaning the subtle body is basically a body of sensations.
Yeah.
When you look at sensations, we confuse the sensation with our interpretation of the sensation, our boxing or our framing of the sensation. Like, for example, if you just turn your attention to the sensation of your feet on the ground, it's just a sensation. It's sort of formless and shapeless. Would you agree?
I would agree, and although it's less than a sensation that I would have with tension, but
no, I
understand.
I understand. Now,
Right.
when you add to the sensation of your feet on the ground an image of the ground, image of your feet, and your feet are separate from the ground, when you box the sensation in a certain way, then you're experiencing the sensation modeled via a certain subtle or gross object, a form. Now,
I lost there. I got lost there. Are you saying that I model something? Are you saying thought comes in? And
yes,
and then,
when you add, you say, well, this sensation is my feet on the ground. You introduce the concepts of feet and ground and two separate objects.
Perfect. Yes.
Now, when it comes to various sensations within the body, there is also a similar aspect that we add to the sensation, which is similar to the sensation. Like, for example, a certain sensation in your belly, or a sensation in your heart or your throat, your neck, a sensation, a tense sensation, a strong sensation in your neck. When you don't add to it, my neck and me, what's happening? I'm angry. They made me angry. Why did they make me angry? When you don't add any framework to the sensation, the sensation of
narrative.
in your neck, I'm sorry, narrative. When you add a narrative, the sensation in your neck or your belly or the sensation of your feet are similar in that they're all neutral. Neutral does not mean that the sensation of your feet is the same as the sensation of a toothache or the sensation of a pounding heart or short of breath. Short of breath, sensation of the sensation of the feet on the ground are different sensation, like the clouds that are dense clouds and thin clouds are different. Only when you don't add on the narrative. Now, the wide open sky, the clouds appear in the wide open sky in the complete openness, relaxation, let's say, of the wide open sky. The wide open sky is a yes to everything. Now, at the body level, it's not like the wide open sky.
Okay, right.
It's not like the wide open sky. There are conditions. It's not a wide open sky. The reason why our experience at the body level is not a wide open sky is because we are identified with the body.
Okay. Otherwise, it would be.
We have formed a structure. We said the body is me. Here is the skin. It weighs 100 and so many pounds. It's 5'10" tall. It is this and that. We've defined the body as a certain structure, plus we identify with it, meaning I is the body. So it's
I'm sorry, that's under threat. So the narrative keeps moving on.
Well, as soon as you are identified with the body or with any form, there is the sense of limitation, and you need to protect. You know, if you have a beautiful car, you want to protect it. You know, put it in the garage. So there is that aspect to it.
Okay, all right. So that's there.
Identification comes hand in hand with the sense of limitation and the need to protect, be concerned about its ending.
The object, in some sense, yes?
Yes. We have added on to our subtle body, the body of sensations. We've added to it a physical form, a fixed physical. We have limited the wide open sky to this is my sky. This is my sky. So we, upon adding this sense of physicality, limitation, and the identification with the sensations, the open field of sensation, it is no longer a wide open sky. It is now a particular. It has a particular limitation, and the limitations of the sky, the limitations of the body mind, will affect the sensations and will affect them from being neutral and impersonal to appearing very personal, very important, and there is something at stake. So our emotions, the sensations, rather than being neutral, becomes tools for maintaining our sense of self. So just to clarify a little bit, that when you say that I don't experience these sensations or emotions within the body in a neutral way, and you are 100% correct about that, because there is a virus on board. You are starting. I'm speaking generically, not about you, John. It's just generically.
No, that's fine. No, that's good.
When we start with the model that I am this body mind, that this body mind is a physical form, is a limited form, is an object. When we objectify the
Magdi, can I?
Yes.
I'm hearing you, but I for clarification for me, because this is where it's starting to get, and I'm the idea that, okay, you're correct, it's the virus and all that, but then when you're using two sort of examples, the body and a car, okay, well, I don't know. I guess I'm thinking in some ways there seems to be
the body is like your car. The body is like your car.
Yeah, that's what I'm wanting, because it seems like when I hear you speak, my interpretation anyway, is sometimes like, okay, it's okay to defend the car in some sense, but it's not okay to defend the body. Do you know? Do you hear what I'm saying?
You defend the body. For example, if there is somebody coming at you with a hammer or a knife, you're going to defend the body. If an elephant is charging you, you're going to jump up the tree. We defend.
Does it have to be an elephant, a knife, or can it be something smaller? I mean, if somebody the idea, like I said, somebody's getting loud, and there's a common sense kind of thought that says, well, this person might get a little physical.
Yeah, of course, because
Okay.
the physical body is
Yes.
basically defined via its interaction with the world.
Uh-huh.
That's a
Okay.
physical body, but there is also the body, the subtle body.
Yeah.
Like, for example, you via your senses,
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
you perceive the computer, you perceive the wall, you perceive your car. So there is an interaction between your body, the physical body, the body that's defined via
Mm-hmm.
sensations, interaction with the world. There is also an extension of your body that is connected to the world, that interacts with the world. So
World being what now? You mean
well,
not
you're
universal?
hearing these words, right?
Yeah, you mean universal. You mean in that sense, not the world that we create a world through our interpretation and concept. You don't mean that kind of world.
No, we know the world via our senses.
Oh, okay. All right.
So in terms of protecting the body, there is an aspect where the body knows, it has learned how to protect itself.
Yes. Yeah.
For example, we know not to put our hand in the fire.
Right.
We know not to jump off a cliff. We've learned these things because we jumped over when we were 2 years old from the couch, and we hurt our knee, and mommy came and consoled us. So we learned how to the body to protect itself. And also
Sure.
there is also the we interact with the world, not just in a physical sense, but also via our subtlety, the subtle aspect of our experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when you perceive somebody who's frowning at you,
Right.
that is an interaction that you're having with the world.
Yeah. Okay.
So
right.
you're perceiving an upsetness. You're perceiving a potential, possibly a potential aggression.
Sure.
So because you perceive that it's completely available to you, you respond. It's not like there is a personal self that responds. Intelligence responds. Intelligence responds. The same intelligence that makes you step away from the elephant who's charging you, it also makes you step away from that person who's frowning and getting closer to you. It's
okay. Well, here's
intelligence.
Here's where I want to let's stay here on this, because
it's the same intelligence that makes you, for example, respond to hunger.
I'm hearing that, but it's not as natural. I mean, it's a little bit more complex to me, because, for instance, let's use the example again. Somebody stands up and they're getting loud, and for some reason they're over the top for some nonsensical reason, it seems like, and whatever's going on, and so intelligently, okay, the body might perceive a threat because that's the conditions it's learned in this game here with the body and the mind and the world and interactions since childhood and stuff like that, and so intelligence might say to just sort of stay there and let them blow their steam and just say, I'll do the best okay, that's fine, and walk on. Or intelligence might put their hands up, or even their fists up, in case
they're
going to be attacked. I mean,
yes
or no.
So yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That doesn't mean it's correct.
We don't know. I mean, of course,
no,
we don't
exactly.
know.
Yeah.
We don't know ahead of time you know, how it's going to unfold.
Yes. Okay.
So
Okay.
there is an aspect of interacting with the world that is not based on any identification. It is just based on the survival and the functioning of the species.
Okay. Yeah.
And the interaction of the body with the world.
Well, it's based too also, Magdi, I'm sorry, I'm interrupting, but it's also, because I want to be very clear about this, or try to get clear in my head. But it's based on also, I guess when we say world, then, are we saying world being the body, mind, and all that stuff going on? Because that's also, one could say also, it's how it's been conditioned. The body learns things through the nervous system. It may have learned something that if somebody stands up, they're going to attack you.
Sure.
Now, it may come from a place like that, but in all cases, that's not true. So one could get ready and put their fist up, and there's nothing like that's happening, okay? And that's okay. But so it's also the conditioning is part of the world.
That's part of the process. We may have been, let's say, conditioned since we were kids to get upset at, to get irritated by the color red, because when our mother was yelling at us, she was wearing a red shirt every day or whatever, every time. So we associate the color red with fear. So now we are 30 years old, and every time we see red, we experience that sensation. That's possible. There is a learning process also, but that's still going on. We realize that, oh well, this person who's wearing, you know, red is just sitting talking with us, very friendly, very nice, we're still experiencing this. Oh my God, I hope she's not going to yell at me. But it turns out that she didn't yell at me. So there is a learning process. Eventually, you know, we realize that, oh, well, there is some reaction to red here, but red isn't such a bad thing.
Yeah. Valentine's Day.
Right. It's not like stuck. It's not, yes, there is conditioning, but it's a process that's still unfolding.
Yes. Okay. All right. So right there. See, so then, because sometimes I think, oh, no, then, okay, there is a neutral place sort of to be, or at least sometimes I even feel it's neutral, because there's some aspect of my knowing that is neutral, and I guess you would call that the I, but it's there is some aspect that's neutral. In a sense, when I say neutral, that's peaceful, that's calm, that's not the interaction. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, there is, you know, the peace of being. You know, the peace of being is the spaciousness of awareness, is awareness.
Yeah.
So that is not what we are talking about, because we are talking about the interaction of the body how the body interacts with itself internally, with sensations, emotions, feelings, etc. How it interacts with the world, how it interacts with the color red, how it interacts with the elephant charging us. So these are two different dimensions. So
all right.
Peace of being is awareness, is our true nature. Now, the fact that there is an aspect of our experience which is interactive, which is in movement, in flow, and that is not an aspect of that disturbs consciousness. In other words, it's not that consciousness is actually doing anything. You see, it's like, let's say in the wide open sky as an image, when the clouds sort of, you know, are whatever is happening to the clouds, nothing is happening to the wide open sky. Or when the waves are whatever, the small waves or big waves or no wave, nothing is happening to water.
Yeah.
So there is the peace is that peace, and in the world, meaning in interaction, in the realm of interaction, the peace is only disturbed when there is the sense that I is a separate
Yes. So it's the separation.
Separate reality and
Yes.
from the world and the mind's reality. So when there is this sort of division, then the sense of me gets on board as a belief and as a feeling. And then there is the spin of protecting, justifying, avoiding, blaming, defending, etc. And that's
now. Go ahead. I have to. Can I just, because I want to? You just said the sense of me, person, the separation. You said even a feeling. You said a feeling.
Yes.
Now, we're talking feeling. You're using in a different way than sensation. No.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. A feeling is a sensation with the me story. So it's an overlay of its neutral sensation with the me belief.
Okay.
So
okay.
So feeling is a me belief acting itself out throughout the body in the spaciousness of the subtle body.
Okay. Yeah, I'm getting that. It's a story. It's a concept, or whether it's been conditioned or not, or whatever. It's a story, but it's not.
It's a belief.
Yeah, it's a belief. A belief.
Yes. It's a belief that the me belief, the belief that I am a man, a woman, somebody who's born on a space, that I am an object, that I'm mortal, that I'm phenomenal.
So if I don't have that, Magdi, then I don't need to stand up. I don't need to raise my fist. I don't need to say something back. I don't need to leave.
If the body wants to go to the bathroom, you're not going to walk the body to the bathroom. No, I would walk it. I would walk it to the bathroom. And also,
okay. Okay. I'm wanting to be clear, because for me, the language, when it gets used like this, I tend to it gets a little vague sometimes.
No, when I'm talking about belief and identification with the body, I am not talking about the functioning of the body. The body has a functioning aspect to it, which is innate. It has an innate intelligence of learning, functioning, and interacting from the day the body is an hour old to the day the body dies. So So, and it varies from body to body. Some bodies are slower to learn in certain directions, faster to learn in other directions. Like for example, for me with music, it was a little very complicated. To sort of, some other people just like that. They just but that's not what we are talking about.
No, I see. Okay, I'm seeing. Go ahead. I think I'm seeing what you're saying in this sense that, because to me that's when I say I'm sort of, if and not that I have to maintain it, but it begins to happen. Whereas, how can I say it? Is that, let's call it the true eye.
What?
There's something that is seeing all this. There's something that's now, whether it sits there and goes, I see this, all that, but there's something that is aware of something happening, some interaction happening, something happening, and so forth and so on. So
it's always always eye awareness that is aware.
Yeah. So is okay. So that sounds good, because that's the more and more the experience. But I think as sometimes what happens is that some of these things that are witnessed, let's say, the sensation, let's just use sensations and stuff like that, they're witnessed, they appear to be, and all these words say they appear to be, and strong, and they seem to take over in some sense. So it's just more and more of sort of,
well, when they take over, one way of looking at an emotion taking over is that there is an emotion.
Okay.
There is an emotion. There is some cause, whether it's rational or irrational. Sometimes it's rational, and sometimes it's not irrational.
Okay.
So taking over, the way I look at taking over is when the emotion arises and then it just stays out there. It doesn't, you know, like a volcano can explode, and it'll explode, you know, maybe for 2, 3, 4, 5 days, 6 weeks. And then at some point, you know, so an emotion that takes over is an emotion that arises and doesn't land. Or
doesn't what? Doesn't what? I'm sorry, doesn't what?
Land, doesn't dissolve.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't it's sort of
it doesn't touch you. Yeah, it doesn't land. It doesn't complete. It doesn't go. Go ahead.
There isn't a me aspect to an emotion. There can be a reaction to a certain stimulus. Like somebody gets upset and comes yelling at you, and you are going to, let's say, experience a certain surge of reaction and of response, a certain response. But once that person is done with, dealt with, whichever way,
sure,
there will be a little echo, a brief echo, whatever, an echo of the event, but then it settles.
Mm-hmm.
It settles. So that is an emotion that does not take over. You said take over. Right?
Yeah, I said take over, take control.
Take over. The way it takes over is then, oh, why did he do this to me? Why did this happen to me? I should be better than that. People should not yell at whatever. When it is maintained, via the anger or the sense of being insulted is maintained via the me story.
Yeah, I think the taking over, in this case, the taking over, because certainly these things, depending on how they're either interpreted or whatever the body does. Sometimes some things stay and some things stay for a shorter period of time.
It's about the body. It's about the sense of me. The sense of me.
Yeah, I wasn't going there. I'm sorry. I wasn't going. What I was trying to question or see clearly here is that somehow the strength of, and I can only use these kinds of words, the strength of it, the power of it, seems to be, it seems to actually provoke the me, which I guess it would do, wouldn't it? Well, maybe not, but it provokes the me, and then a me has to start coming in rather than the I. Yeah.
Right. It's right. Exactly. The ignorance is provoked because it's there, and so here we are. This shouldn't be happening to me. I am better than that, and all the ignorance can get on board. And so this is what we look at over and over to have some clarity about the process, because when you have clarity about the process is going on behind the scene. We don't even know what's going on. Here we're trying to bring some clarity. Okay, that's the process to come to the understanding, and also the understanding that this process maintains the emotion, maintains the unhappiness, and also there is nothing worthwhile in it. Nothing worthwhile in the maintenance of the me story outside of our enjoyment of the me story, our enjoyment of feeling indignant. We enjoy feeling indignant.
Well, but it's also, there's a me story in protecting your car in some sense, or
that's not a me story. No.
All right, tell me the difference there. Well, you're saying that's, again, I raised
when you experience hunger and you feed the body, that's not a me story. When the car is low on fuel and you need to put fuel in it, that's not a me story. When you see your car is dusty and you enjoy a shiny car, you clean it, you wash it, that's not a me story. When you're identified with the car, when you're identified, not when it is your car, of course it is your car. You have the title to the car. But the fact that the car is your car does not necessarily mean that you're identified with it. This body, Magdi's body, is Magdi's, it belongs, this Magdi thing is my body, but I'm not identified with it. When you are identified with the body or with your car, it's, what was your question about identification?
Well, yeah, it was really kind of just discerning between a car and even the body, because the idea that
so you can take care of the car, you can tend to the car without identification.
All right, now, so here's the question. All right, isn't it a me that says, there goes my car, or somebody's just getting in my car with him and says, I need that car. That's the me that needs that car tomorrow. The me has to go to work.
No, that's not intelligence. That's not me. Me is not you're confusing intelligence with
it seems like a me to me. So that's what
with the sense of with ignorance. No, and there's intelligence. Hey, you know, I bought the car. The car has a certain function, and somebody is stealing the car. Intelligence is acting. Now, it is possible for ignorance to be acting too. I mean, I'm not saying that we cannot be identified with our car. I'm saying that it's not necessary. The fact that you own a car does not necessarily mean that you are identified with your car. The fact that you own a car and you use a car every day and it serves you and you cherish it and you take care of it because it serves a function does not necessarily mean identification with the car.
Yeah. I'll have to keep looking at that because I don't.
And similarly with the body. The body, we take care of the body. We watch over the body. You know.
Yeah, the body feels so much closer. Though you hear what I'm saying? The body feels so much closer, that tension, than the car or anything else. You know.
Well, okay, but take a look at that. Okay.
Yeah, I know. Yes, exactly.
What makes the body feel
closer? Yeah.
Look at it right now. Right now, you have a sensation of your body, right? Okay. That sensation appears to you, right?
Yes.
And you're hearing these words, right?
Yes.
The place where you're hearing these words and perceiving the screen and the sensation of perceiving the sensation of your body is the same place.
Yeah.
The place of awareness, right?
Yeah, perception. Yes.
And in this moment, the sensation of your body is appearing equally to the perception of the screen.
Yeah.
It is appearing equally to hearing this voice.
See, when you say equal.
Yet, we choose to say, well, okay, that is me and that is not me.
Because the screen that I'm looking at, is not a activity happening in my body. For instance, I can feel the sensation going up my legs or something like that. I can feel my legs there.
Let's look at that. Let's look at the sensation of your leg. Go to the sensation of your leg right now. You see it?
Okay, I'm doing it.
So you're perceiving the sensation of your leg, right?
Yes.
Did you hear this?
I heard that.
Okay. This is different from the sensation of your leg, right?
Yes, it is. That's what I think.
Yes, it is. Absolutely. I agree with you. Now,
okay.
And yet they appear within the same space.
Yeah.
Which is the space of awareness, right?
Yes.
And they appear at zero distance from awareness. Yes?
Yes. I know the test. And I can say yes, but I don't want to lie about it.
Okay.
I don't want to lie about it.
If it's no, you have to say no.
Distance, in a way, I'm sorry, go ahead.
If it's no, please say no. I'm
Yeah. I'm I'm ambivalent with that because yes, and I know you've gone over
it's a simple question. This sound appears within awareness. Yes?
Okay, yes.
And it appears at zero distance from awareness. In other words, the awareness of the sound and the sound are not two.
Yeah, correct.
Same thing with go to the sensation of your leg. The sensation of your leg appears within awareness. Yes?
Yes.
And it appears at zero distance of the awareness, meaning the awareness of the sensation and the sensation are not two. Yes?
Right.
Okay. If you put this together, just what we explored right now, if you put together the sound, the sensation of your leg, and awareness as one.
Yeah.
I mean, I say put them together. They're actually one.
Right, exactly. They are one. It's universal.
So in this experience, which is the experience of one, we choose the sensation, this is my body, this is me, and this is not me. This is
okay,
me, and this is not me. Huh?
So I'm choosing with concept to say this is my body, and
Absolutely.
that's not.
Absolutely, because your experience does not say that. Your experience, what you experience is all equal to itself. What you experience doesn't tell you, hello, this is me. Hello, this is not me. What you experience doesn't tell you. It's equal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I hear that.
But I understand what you're saying, John, because we all come from the same conditioning, and it's come from the same sense of identification. But we are in the process of looking at this.
Yeah, that's the big thing.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's truthful. That's the only reason I'm going to look at it.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, it's silly.
Absolutely. We are not peddling new beliefs. Okay.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, anyway, thank you, Magdi. That was good. Thank you very much.
Wonderful.
Tell Tara I'm sorry I took up so much time.
No, not at all.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so thank you. Any questions here?
Yeah, Magdi, I've got a quick question about following up on all this talk about sensations and feelings, etc.
Yes.
I often wonder how, I know that if I touch my hand on another hand or whatever, there's a reason to feel something, and I'm touching something with my hand. But if I'm feeling a pain in my body or a sensation in my body, I wonder there's nothing touching that. So how am I feeling that? How am I?
Well, when you two hands touch each other, there are nerve endings. There are nerve endings that are there are atoms and molecules and very fine sensory aspect, of. So when two hands touch, there is an interaction, it's sort of an electromagnetic and electrical and through the senses. So in the body, in your let's say within your body, there are also various activities. There are movements or interactions occurring within your body, like your stomach sometimes may gurgle, when you are hungry, or when you've eaten something that's maybe too much air in it and so on. You will experience a sensation in your body, which is actually some interactions occurring, within your body. So it's all of that is in the realm of interaction. So there is this sort of interaction within the body, and and also by touching, but there's also an interaction across space. For example, me and you right now, there is an interaction across space where you're sensing, you are somatically, in other words, at the subtle level of your body, you're sensing, quotes unquote, me. You're sensing via distance is an interaction. So the interaction is in the realm of phenomena. It's not just limited to within the body or between different parts of the body. It's an ongoing field, interactive field at much beyond just the limitation of a particular body mind. So we even interact at levels that we're not even aware of. For example, we both feel love for each other, you see, and that's at the subtle level. We're not even, and yet we're sharing it, meaning we're interacting at that realm. We both recognize each other as human beings. You know, we're not cats and dogs or snails or birds. So there is, we both know that, and we both share that, and we both interact at the level of this knowingness that there is a commonality in at the physical level of our local body mind level. So the point I wanted to make is that the entire realm within the body, the body with the body, or when you put your hand on the table and you sense cold or hard or wet or whatever, that is just a little teeny tiny segment of how broad and vast and infinite is our realm of our universal realm, we say. So although we may at sometimes at the mind level experience that, oh, we're just this limited aspect, but when you look at it a little bit more, you know, a little bit beyond that model, you realize that, oh, wait a minute, there is much more to it in terms of your cosmic, your universal being, that includes the local aspect, but is not limited to the local aspect.
So that local aspect is it's registering somewhere. Well, maybe not somewhere in time and space, but there seems to be there's a receptor that says, oh, I feel this, and I feel it here.
Yes.
That's just awareness, but it's not I know it's not localized, but it seems like it's localized.
Well, no, the awareness is not localized, but that which is perceived, you can perceive a certain the perception being local. For example, you perceive the orange on the branch of this particular orange tree. You perceive the oak tree in the yard. You perceive the toothache upper right, you know, you perceive a headache, maybe, go through it more here than, so that which you perceive may have a local location, but that which perceives is not local.
Mm.
So the I use the term I awareness, the reality that perceives is not local, but yes, it does perceive the locality. Like I know, for example, that my car is in this garage, not that garage, you see. So there is a locality in that which I perceive, but the locality of that which is perceived does not imply the locality, any locality about that which perceives.
So the perception is in the locality itself. It's not like I'm here, like it's not awareness is here and the local thing is there. It's like it's one, it's all together. It's like the
Yeah.
localization and awareness in the
Yeah.
same place, so to speak.
Well, I would say that there isn't a here or not here to awareness, but there is a here or not here to my car, to my keys, to there is a here or there, or here or not here, meaning the whole aspect of location that applies to phenomena, including the subtle aspect of, you could have a your right knee is hurting, you're feeling the sensation in your right knee. See? So I would say that the here or not here, or this aspect of localization, applies to that which is perceived, but I wouldn't go to say that because the sensation or the perception is located in a certain location, that awareness is located. Awareness, because it's non-phenomenal, I mean, it's not made out of elements. It's the reality of awareness is noumenal, is non-phenomenal. So there is no phenomenal aspect to that which is non-phenomenal. There is no gender, there is no size, there is no weight, there is no location, there is no length or width or height or density or to that which is non-phenomenal. This is why we say the phenomenal has phenomenal aspect, but the noumenal awareness does not have phenomenal aspect. It has non-phenomenal aspects. The non-phenomenal aspects of awareness is love, beauty, freedom, joy, and it expresses itself in the world, but it is not expressed by the world.
So that question that I ask myself about, where is this being registered? Because I sometimes go to my head, I go, I feel like it's being registered here in my head.
What is registered in your head?
Like the place of where sensation registers. I guess because I've been taught that the brain is the receptor of the sensation.
Well, okay, you need to let go of that model for now, just for now. You can pick it up later. For now, you can go to your experience.
Okay.
You're perceiving this perception. Right now, you're perceiving this perception, whatever you're perceiving. Now, in your experience of this perception right now, where, if anywhere, is this perception located?
I can't tell. It seems like it's like of my hand resting on my body. It felt like there was a sensation there. And then it seems like there's some kind of, it seems like the perceptor, if that's a word, is up here. No, that's because I've been
again. You have to just keep stay with your experience before you go to perceptor. The question is, there is this perception, and it's undeniable. There is this perception. Where is it? In my experience right now, where is this perception? Where is it? Where do I go to find it? I am experiencing it right now. Where do I go to find it? I don't go anywhere. I don't go to behind my, I don't go anywhere.
Yeah, it's true, because I'm coming up with an image. It's in the I'm finding it in the image.
Yes, but I understand. I'm saying, like, you should stay with your experience. Just I know that, I know what you are saying, but just stay with your experience, whatever it is, the sensation of your feet on the ground or whatever it is. And ask yourself, just I cannot deny my experience. There is an experience here, a perception, whatever it is. Where is it? Where do I go to find it? You see, I don't go anywhere. Right?
That's a tough one for me to answer, Maggie. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take a look at that. Take a look at that. That which we experience, whatever it is, whichever way you call it, sensation, perception, thought, memory, whatever, it doesn't matter. Whatever we experience, whatever we perceive, is closer than close. We can't go anywhere. We can't step towards it. We don't need to put on our hiking boots and go find our experience. We don't climb to the rear of my head, or we don't climb inside of our brain and say, oh, here it is, I found it. You know, that's a model. It's not a model that is valid based on my experience of, I hear his words. Where do I go to find this hearing? Where? I don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
I can't even go, I don't even need to travel half an inch. I wouldn't know which direction to travel. I wouldn't know. I have no freaking idea. Like, what? And I don't need to travel not even a quarter, 1/8 of an inch to find my hearing. I'm hearing right now these words. You see? So there's something about the contemplation of our experience that is so much more powerful than any model about, you know, the brain, the mind, the whatever. I don't know. Just there are many models. I'm not, you know, just our experience is that it's the intimacy of awareness, which is not an object. And yet, although awareness is not an object, I hear, I perceive, I sense, I smell. Where is the smell? You see, I'm smelling right now roses. Where do I go to find that smell? I mean, it's right there.
Okay. I'll keep chewing on that, Maggie. Thanks.
Okay. Well, yes. Thank you all. Very lovely to be with you. Holger, I know you have to go, and Frank, Esther, lovely to see you, Esther, as always, and John. Hello, Maria. Hola, Maria.
Hi.
Hello, Maria.
Hi, everyone.
Yes, lovely to see you. Gloriana, hello, Gloriana. And Marga, hello, Marga. Lovely to see you, Marga. Naomi, nice to meet you, Naomi. Zoe, hello, Zoe. And Maru.
Thank you, Magdi.
Beautiful. Okay, lovely to see you, Maru. Mucho gusto.
Nice to see you.
Thank you all. Thank you all. Beautiful. Yes.
Thank you, Magdi.
Okay.
Namaste, all.
Thank you.
Namaste. Thank you.
See you soon.